To all my friends present, past and beyond, especially those who weren't with us too long. Life is the most precious thing you can lose. While you were here, the fun was never ending. Life a minute was only beginning. Captain Corbin Nichols, this one's for you! Never get that feeling you can go on. Just remember the side it is that you're on. You've got friends with you till the end. If you're ever in a tough situation, we'll be there, no hesitation. Brotherhood's our rule, we cannot bend.
All right, fans, here are the first 11s, beginning with the away side, FC Pride. Your keeper tonight, number 1, Cole Thompson. Number 4, Jonathan Mihailoff. Number 6, Braden Dahl. Number 7, Keaton Barnheiser. Number 8, Caleb Schwarzendruber. Number 11, Spencer Holland. Number 14, Joshua Wesseling. Number 15, Lucas Finabose. Number 17, Micah Eldridge. Number 19, Joey Longo. And number 23, Quinn Johnston. Manager of the FC Pride, Jamie Gilbert. And now, here are the first 11 for your FC Milwaukee Torrent. Your captain tonight, number 12, Jamie LeCompte. Your keeper tonight, number 1, Gabriel Greenfield. Number 3, JJ Espinoza. Number 5, Roberto Rango. Number 9, Gabon. Number 10, Rodrigo Lasso. Number 11, Jude Tosh. Number 20, Brandon Kopp. Number 23, Max Ludwig. Number 30, Giovanni Diaz. And number 45, Malik Cockings. Your head coach of your FC Milwaukee Torrent is Tyler Howard.
Please rise. And now, to honor America and all that it stands for, as well as our freedom and those who serve to protect it, the playing of our national anthem.
Four matches remain, and for FC Milwaukee Torrent, the margin for error is rapidly disappearing. Tonight at Hart Park, the 2-1-3 Torrent return home, sitting fifth in the conference, just outside the playoff line, with only the top four teams advancing to the postseason. Standing in their way is one of the league's best. FC Pride enters the night 4-1-1. Second in the table and carrying a plus 16 goal differential. Best among teams chasing conference leader Michigan Rangers FC. Let's look back to the season opener. Pride spoiled Milwaukee's start with a 4-2 victory in Indianapolis. Now, in the regular season ending meeting between these clubs, the stakes are even higher. For Pride, it's a chance to strengthen their hold near the top of the table. For the Torrent, it's an opportunity to gain ground in the playoff race and earn a measure of revenge. On a perfect summer night here in Wauwatosa, a critical 90 minutes awaits. FC Pride, FC Milwaukee Torrent, kickoff is next. Good evening, everybody. My name is Kevin O'Connor. I'm here with my lovely group of ragtag folks jumping in here on play-by-play. So that means, if I'm on here, you got the D team, but that's okay. Look, the table is showing up pretty interesting. So let's take a look at the NPSL standings here real quick. At the top, you have Michigan Rangers FC. But guess what? They lost. Who did they lose to? Look who's sitting at number 3, a name we don't typically see at the top of the near the top of the table, Wisconsin Conquerors FC. They're 4-0-3. No ties, only 3 losses, but 4 wins. One of those wins coming here against Milwaukee, the other against Michigan, and the other 2 against Southern Indiana. Now the Torrent, they have 3 games left after this evening. Same with Pride. Pride, if they play their cards right, they're gonna go into the playoffs. The top 4 in the Central States Conference plays in the goes to the playoffs. So that's what's at stake here. Let's go over starters real quick. We had our starters said real quick, but let's go over those real quick again. So Cole Thompson, Jonathan Mihalioff, Braden Dahl, Keaton Barnheiser, Caleb Schwartzendruber, Spencer Holland, Joshua Wesseling, Lucas Binabose, Micah Eldridge, Joey Longo, and Quinn Johnson for Jamie Gilbert's FC Pride team. And we'll get to the Torrent here in just a second as we await kickoff. And there's the whistle. High ball in the air. But let's go over our starters for the Torrents. Our captain pretty much all season, Mr. Jamie Lecomte. And, of course, happy Father's Day to Paul out there who's watching from New Zealand. Always a pleasure seeing him on our stream. In goal this afternoon, Gabriel Greenfield. We have J.J. Espinoza, Roberto Rangel, Gabe Vong, Rodrigo Lasso, Jude Tosh is a new name in the starting lineup today. We have Brandon Kopp, Max Ludwig coming off the bench. He's one of our coaches this year, player coaches. Giovanni Diaz, and of course, kind of hitting that kind of in the middle back, center back for the Torrent, Malik Cockings. And of course, we have Tyler Howard on the bench leading the charge here. So like I said, really important game, I think, for both teams here. Cockings back to Greenfield. Greenfield up to Espinoza. But I can't tell you how important this game is for the Torrents. They have 4 games left. They have 1 against the Conquerors. Shot on shot. Out of bounds. It's going to be a corner for the Torrents. We have Lasso that's going to take this. Torrent setting up fairly high. FC Pride loading up the box with their men. Ball incoming. Off a Pride player, another corner for Milwaukee. It's a bit breezy today, but it is absolutely beautiful. It's perfect weather. Just a little breezy as I look at the flag, and you can see the corner flag. Ball incoming. A little short. Off an FC Pride player. going to be a throw-in for the Torrent. Rangel with the ball. But the Torrent play the Conquerors, which they need. That's a must-win game for the Torrent. They then go down to Southern Indiana, which you don't want to say is an easy game, right, by any means. But the Guardians have had their troubles last year and this year. They haven't won a game yet. But again, anything can happen as by today's result where the Rangers lost to the Conquerors. So if the Torrent can eke one out today or get a tie, at least get points out of this game, they're better set. Of course, the Torrent coming off a game last week Saturday against the Geos Lions out of Chicago. That game was a 1-1 tie. Torrent led that game most of the game, 1-0. And then a handball in the box led to a penalty kick that tied it up late in the game. Torrent then, ball up the field. The Torrent then did put one in the back of the goal. Felix Heweiler put one in the back of the goal off of a corner kick. But Ryan Shanklin, the referee for that game, disallowed it, citing goalie interference, we believe. It was either that or offsides. But really heartbreaking to have that goal go in and then to have it being called off. The Pride themselves are coming off a loss, a 2-1 loss to the Michigan Rangers. So again, two teams that are hungry for a win. Lasso in the box to Tosh. Back to Cockings. Cockings been a stalwart in that back line. Ball given to the Torrent. Really, it's a win, must win for both teams. If FC Pride can pull out a win today, it puts them at a tie, really a virtual kind of at the top of the standing, since Michigan Rangers have played two more games than FC Pride and the Torrent today. As of today, they lost earlier today to the Conquerors. So just by points per game, theoretically, the Pride are on top right now. However, based on just points, they're behind by 3. So if they can get another 3 points, Ludwig with the ball, up to Vong. Vong over to Lasso. Lasso in the 18. Shot taken and off a Pride player. Spencer Holland with the ball. Nice ball over to Caleb Schwartzendruber. Nice play by Cockings to clear that ball out of the box. Shot taken, point blank, range by Giovanni Diaz, but again, another save. Ball over the top, off of Cockings' head to Greenfield. You hear Jamie Gilbert yelling instructions. He is a brave man today. I will tell you. We were joking up here in the press box. He's got a full hooded sweatshirt on, with a puffy vest on, and black pants. I'm surprised he's not much warmer than he is, but he is an Englishman, so I don't know. I'd have to ask our resident English woman, Chloe May, if that's typical behavior, but. Chloe May helping us out with the camera. She's been helping us out with the camera the last several games. Of course, a premier player for our women's team. Of course, the women's team coming off a statement win. Again, I don't know how else to call it. I mean, it was an 18-0 win over an unfortunate Milwaukee City AFC team that, again, we've talked about this on the broadcast before, just a different goals for that team than for the Torrent women. But that's a score you don't see very often, is double digits and nearing in on 20 goals. I was talking to Chloe, and she said it was 4-0 after a few minutes, and then 12-0 at half. So ball in the box, kick back out. Lovely save by Gabriel Greenfield. So a couple of saves. Going to result in a corner kick. Greenfield had to come off his line. Couldn't quite control the ball in the first save. Rebound, and then saved it point blank again. Of course, communicating with his defenders, kind of asking, hey, what happened here? Not sure what happened here. Some pushing and shoving going on. We have J.J. Espinoza on the ground. Looks like that was Braden Dahl there in the goal from Pride. In swinger. Didn't touch a single person. It's going to be a goal kick for the Torrent. Up to Jude Tosh, back to Espinoza. Back to Greenfield. Espinoza. LeCompte in the middle of the field, kind of directing traffic. Switching fields, near side here to Lasso. Lasso trying to beat Quinn Johnston. It's going to result in a goal kick. Lasso's down. Got tangled up a bit. Referee checking in on Rodrigo. We hope he's walked that one off. Rub a little bit of the new sand on it. Of course, we've talked about the new field. I have to say is shot on goal, but it was off of a Torrent defender. It's going to result in a corner kick. I know we've talked about this field time and time again, but really amazing work between the city of Wauwatosa and several private organizations to get this field back and ready and for the Torrent to be playing at home. Swartz and Druber, the ball. off a Pride player, and it's going to be a goal kick for the Torrent. Greenfield, but back to Lasso. I'm not joking when I say this field was in disrepair. There was ripples in this field as high as my knee, and I'm 6'1", so a good almost 2 feet high. If you go back through the Torrent YouTube or Facebook page, you'll see Andy Davi doing a tour here when he came to check on things, and you just had to feel for him and the organization because they lost thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment. But one interesting thing from this, we have a whistle, we have a player down, we have Quinn Johnston is down. But one interesting factoid now, though, and you can see it if you're used to watching Torrent games from last year, the field is about 3 feet shorter on less wide on either side. So it's 2 yards smaller width-wise. And I've seen that come into play now a few times this year where you think the ball's got to be somewhere where you're used to it being, and it's not. But I will say for player safety, things like that, I do appreciate it more because in previous years you had players on the track getting ready to take a corner kick. So now there's plenty of green, artificial turf that they can take a corner kick, things like that. Do throw-ins, things like that, so they're not necessarily on the track where it could be slippery, especially if it's raining, things like that. Quinn Johnston's going to come off here for a second. Get checked out by the trainer. You also see Bryce Bush on the sidelines getting warmed up a little bit for FC Pride. Our wonderful training staff from Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Certainly my place to go. Had my knee replaced last year there. Doing all right. Torrent with the ball. Ludwig to LeCompte. Back to Cockings. Near side to Lasso. Lasso into Tosh. Nice defense there by FC Pride. It's going to result in a throw-in. Roberto Rangel is going to throw this one in. Of course, we have our first train of the day. I've been telling our wonderful owner, Andy Davi, that we should really get a sponsor for these trains, but one of the unique things of Hart Park here is train tracks right by the pitch. Appears to be Brandon Kopp. Center. Espinoza Lasso with the shot, but immediately blocked by a FC Pride player. Looks like Quinn Johnston's going to be done for the day. And we're going to have Bryce Bush come on. Ball sent down the pitch by Braden Dahl into the awaiting hands of Mr. Greenfield. Greenfield up to Espinoza. Up to Kopp. Up to Diaz. Diaz up to Tosh. Of course, Jude. Nice move. Diaz on the run. Goes to center it, but nobody there. Tosh coming back. LeCompte to Rangel. Rangel to Lasso. Lasso to Ludwig. Switching fields over to Kopp. Shot by Kopp and goal! Brandon Kopp. Comes in the 19th minute. Brandon Kopp plays defense for the Torrent, but he plays forward for Edgewood College. I got to see him play earlier this year when they played Marquette. That's a way to start it. Get that first one on the board.
Entering the match for FC Pride is number 16, Bryce Bush.
So that's the day for Quinn Johnson. Bryce Bush comes on. Essentially, that goal was a man down. You have to feel for a player getting hurt, especially into such a pivotal game. But what a nice goal by Kopp. They switched fields. Kopp took it, saw an opening. FC Pride didn't collapse down on him, and he took the shot and went right into the back of the goal. Lasso trying to advance the ball. All right, so let's see what happens here. So Ludwig has the ball, on the ball. He's got many options. Intercepted by Micah Eldridge. Cockings on the ball. Of course, Cockings with a brace. A couple nights, about 10 days ago against the Conquerors in that loss. He scored the 2 goals that the Torrent scored. Crossed by Tosh, but right into the waiting hands of Cole Thompson. Well, he's loved to see a good defender get some opportunities. It's giving Chloe a little grief, asking her why she didn't get a goal the other night, but she said she just likes to defend. She doesn't like to score goals. Another shot on goal by Jude Tosh. Just a bit wide right of the goal.
Let's hear it for our incredible Silver All-Star sponsors who help make game day happen. A huge thank you to Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, Okawa, Splat EPL, Confluence Graphics.
Longo's going to send it upfield. Off the chest of goal scorer Kopp. Up to Cockings, back to Kopp. Kopp near side. Lasso. Lasso's doubled up and just couldn't keep it in bounds.
We're proud to have their support partnership as part of the Torrent family. Let's give our Silver All-Star sponsors a big round of applause.
Pride on the ball. Again, that's where that, I'm telling you, it's amazing when you are used to that extra yard of grass or turf or whatever you want to call it. And it's not there. I've seen that now several times this year. Torrent player down. Referee's going to allow that to go. Shot on goal, saved by Greenfield. Pride with offsides by the Pride. Going to go back to the Torrent. That's a great ball kids today, so balls are going to get in really fast now. Some games we are unfortunate we don't have any of those youngsters out there helping us out, but thank you to all those youngsters out there helping us with gathering balls and getting them into our players so we can keep the game going. And Greenfield up to Espinoza. Back over to Diaz. Diaz back to Greenfield. Greenfield up to Tosh. Tosh up to Vong. Back to Lecomte. Over to Lasso. Rangel running up the field. Lasso. Nice shot, but great, even nicer save by Cole Thompson. Kind of weaved through the defense of the Pride. But Thompson coming up big for there, right there is a point-blank shot. Torrent need to keep that pressure up. Cocking sends it back down the field. Pride have it. Thompson up to Mikhailov. Up in the box. Shot by Pride. Picked up by Greenfield. Lasso over to Rangel. Switch fields. Bit too much on that one. Throw in for Pride. Pass by Longo was intercepted, but then right back to him. Benabose. Benabose. We're not quite sure. Mikhailov. Up to Wessling. Pride taking their time. Nice defense there by Espinoza. Tosh on the ball. Bit of a cheeky slide there by FC Pride player, and we now have our second train of the game. On the ball is Max Ludwig, of course, player coach. One of three. Well, Tyler Howard doesn't play, but we have Javi Steinwasser, Max Ludwig, and Tyler Howard leading the coaching staff this year, with Tyler kind of leading the charge here. Had the pleasure of seeing Jeff Pill. He was last year the coach for the Torrent the last few years. Of course, his son Taylor plays for the Torrent. We were talking soccer, talking World Cup, talking how close this year's World Cup is. How all of these players like especially the 2-1 win by Germany over Kota Avary, right? I don't know how else you say it, but you know, all those guys are playing in the Premier League and things like that. Run for, looked like it was a run by Jamie Lecomte, but intercepted there. But you just don't know who's going to win this year. There's no clear favorite this year. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Just clocking over to the 29th minute. 1-0 Torrent. Long go back to Benabose. Benabose up to Mihailov. Of course, that intercepted by Jude Tosh. Espinoza. Back to Ludwig. Ludwig. Up to Diaz. Diaz up to Jamie Lecomte. Lecomte over to Lasso. Lasso back to Diaz again. Lots of one touches. That's what you like to see. Make the extra touch. Get the ball moving. Benabose on the ball for the Pride. Pride moving up the field. Back to Benabose. Mihailov. Served in. Right into the waiting arms of Greenfield. Greenfield back out to Ludwig. Turner looking to move. Jamie Lecomte just offsides. I saw it as it was happening. I knew he was going to be just a touch offsides. Of course, that flag does go up. About 2/3 through this first half. Interestingly enough, the Pride have the only second largest goal differential in the Central States Conference at 16. The league leader, the conference leader, shot on goal, saved by Greenfield. Of course, the Rangers have the lead with 20. Things get very interesting when you look at tiebreakers and things like that, but really the goal for the Torrent here is to get into that top four and then let things happen in the playoffs. You just got to get to the playoffs. It doesn't matter if you're 1, 2, 3, or 4. You just got to get there, especially with the struggles that the Torrent have had. Nice through ball. Oh, boy. That was called offside. I'm not sure if that was that. He looked very onsides to me, but the flag goes up. He looked very onsides to me. I'm sure our chat is going crazy right now. Paul, I like the new name. Nice defense by Lasso. Lots of bounding ball. There's a shot on goal there in a second. But again, it was intercepted by the Torrent defense. Calkins on the ball. Over the top. Thompson kicking it out of bounds all the way into the stands. Espinoza back to Greenfield, back to Espinoza. Of course, JJ at fault for that handball the other night. Chatting with him after the game, he felt terrible about it, but just hand at the right place at the right time, unfortunately. So you got to keep those hands down. There's a lot of pushing and shoving in that match. Pride on the ball. Jonathan Mihailov. Doesn't seem like a lot of urgency for this FC Pride team, even though they're down 1-0 right in the 35th minute. Ball over the top, right into the waiting hands of Gabriel Greenfield. Wants everybody to settle for a second. Over the top to Diaz. Diaz back to Tosh. Tosh to Kopp. Kopp back to Espinoza. See if they can advance this a little bit. Back to Calkins. Can't say enough good things about Malik Calkins. He's been such a stalwart in that back line. Lasso moving upfield. Switching the fields over to Diaz. Diaz up to Kopp. Kopp the goal scorer. Kopp still on the ball. Another shot and another goal from 27 yards out. Brandon Kopp with his second goal and a brace. Catching Cole Thompson off his line. Another unassisted by Brandon Kopp in the 37th minute.
See Milwaukee Torrent go by number 20 once again, Brandon Kopp in the 36th minute. Kopp in the 36th minute.
So that takes the Torrent up 2-0 here. 37th minute. I don't think we're going to get much added time here. Maybe a minute or two, but certainly we're not looking at, if things kind of play out the way that they've been playing out, I can only see a minute or two. But another wonderful goal. That one was around the 17-yard line of the actual football field here at Hart Park. It's not a record, but that, of course, this season it goes to the women's team. They've had a few just unbelievable free kicks on that side, both by Abby Hall. Something going on with Jamie Lecomte. Looks like he's going to... So, looks like he wanted Jamie to step off the field, get checked out by our PT staff. So, essentially, the Torrent are a man down. So it looks like he's going to have to sit out for an undetermined amount of time, it looks like. I'm not quite sure what's happening here. So it looks like he, thanks, Paul. Looked like he kicked him in the back of the leg. I'm not sure. So now we're just waiting for the captain to get back on the field. But getting back to what I was talking about, Abby Hall has had two spectacular free kicks. One from 25 yards out and the other from 40. It was just an amazing free kick. Up and over the top of the goalie, just perfectly put right under the goal, and it was just a thing of beauty. If that's not goal of the year in the WPSL, I don't know what it is. Bit of pushing and shoving. Going to be a foul on Gio Diaz. Lecomte coming back on the field. Again, not sure why he had to sit out, but Kopp on the ball. Kopp with a brace. You hear Tyler Howard, go get another one. When you have a nose for the goal, doesn't take much to score there. Corner coming here for the Torrent. 2-0 on two Brandon Kopp goals. Heading into the 42nd minute here in just a few ticks. You're going to have an in-swinger. Ball served in. Cole Thompson with the Micah Eldred just yelling at a small child. Yeah, I can't have two balls on the field. Dahl back to Longo. Longo to Benabos. Shot by Spencer Holland, scooped up by Greenfield. Wasn't a lot on that ball. Ludwig with the turnover. Back to Pride. It's a yellow. Yellow on 14. Joshua Wessling. Tried to go upfield there and
Yellow card assessed number 14, Joshua Whistling, in the 43rd minute.
44th minute. Torrent up 2-0 on 2 Brandon Kopp goals. Ludwig up to Tosh. Tosh over to Kopp. Kopp's going to try to get a third. Just waiting to see how much extra time, added time that we have here. It's going to be Pride ball. Wessling on the ball. Cleared out by Tosh. A cross trying to be, there was a cross that was trying to be taken by Braden Dahl. Great defense there by Rodrigo Lasso. Nice defense by the Torrent to get that ball out of the box. 2 minutes of added time.
The referee has indicated 2 minutes of added time. 2 minutes.
I was right. Win one for me. I get many things right, but I'll take a win. 30 seconds in the extra 2 minutes here. Ball sent in. Not touched by a single player, so it's going to be a throw-in for the Torrent. Kopp over to Vong. Of course, Vong, the foul there. Some words being said. Diaz chasing that ball, tracking it down. About 30 seconds left in this added time. Tosh on the ball. Tosh, ill-advised shot. He was trying to do a Brandon Kopp there, I think. Looks like we're going to have a concussion check. That's Keaton Barnheiser that's getting checked out by the staff here. And that is the end of the first half. Torrent 2, FC Pride 1.
Your score, FC Milwaukee Torrent 2. FC
2 goals by number 20, Brandon Kopp, is what it is right now. So, we're going to leave that here. So, we'll be back here in a little while. Take a little break. I need some water. Chat with some folks. Say hi. All right, folks. We'll see you back here in about 15 minutes. All right, we're back. Milwaukee Torrent 2, FC Pride 0. Getting ready here to start the second half. 2 big goals by Brendan Culp. Let's see if the Torrent can hold on for a big win here. Both came unassisted. He made those happen himself. If you're looking for something to do tomorrow evening, tune in tomorrow. We have the women taking on Chicago House AC. It should be a great game tomorrow. Chicago House AC kind of coming out of nowhere and taking the lead in the Great Lakes Conference. Culp on the run again there, but Cole Thompson beating him to the ball. But that's an integral game tomorrow again. Rangel up to Diaz. Diaz over the top to Tosh. Tosh on the ball. Just a bit over the top of the goal. It's the second one now that Tosh has kicked up and over too far. Pride on the ball, but turnover. Espinoza back to Greenfield. Greenfield. Rangel. Getting just absolutely harassed by Bryce Bush. Lecomte. Looked like that was a shot by Lecomte off of a Pride player. Resulting in a corner. Quick corner. Rangel serves it in. Oh, it's a goal! I believe that was JJ Espinoza. Goal! JJ Espinoza on the header. That sequence, it was a quick corner, and then it was served in. And Espinoza was there just off the side of his head.
That's an FC Milwaukee Torrent goal. Number 3, JJ Espinoza. That goal was scored in the 48th minute. 48 minutes, JJ Espinoza.
I think that was off the foot of Lecomte that served it in. It's hard to tell. But 3-0. What an insurance goal there. And man, did he get up there on that one. He got up there and he kind of launched himself off the Pride defender. But what a goal. (3-0) FC Milwaukee Torrent. So we have 2 goals by Brandon Culp and 1 by J.J. Espinoza. Both lined up as defenders. So you're getting goals out of your defense, defense today. It's going to make for a very happy Father's Day for all the Torrent dads out there. But as we stand right now, this would then put the Torrent into a 4th place tie with the Geos. Now, great save by Greenfield on the shot by Micah Eldridge. He almost went 5-hole on him, but just got his butt down on that to close up the hole. So that puts them into a 4th place tie with the Geos. Now, I believe, without looking, this is just from past knowledge, it goes head-to-head first. So, unfortunately, the Torrent have a 2-1 loss to the Lions a couple weeks ago. So, again, they're still out of it. So, what does that mean? They need to go into Wisconsin, or up to Wisconsin Rapids, and play the Conquerors on Wednesday. They need to win that game. With a win, that would put them into 3rd place. That would give them 13 points. They then play the Guardians. Let's just say, okay, they're going to win that game. That would give them 16 points. And if they can win that last game, if they can win out, that would give them 19 points. I don't see them not making the playoffs at that point. What seed they would be, I couldn't tell you at this point, but we shall see. So let's see if they can hold on to this 3-0 lead. Point blank shot by Wesseling. Another save. Great save by Greenfield. Boy, Eldridge is just trying to take him out here. A little bit of knowledge from Paul Lecomte. He's in New Zealand. We always appreciate him being on. He's watching early morning in New Zealand. That Father's Day in New Zealand is in September. Well, Paul, since we're celebrating Father's Day here in America, we'll let you go ahead and celebrate with us, hopefully with a win. Torrent ball. Turnover. Back to Thompson. Rangel. Gabe Vong looking for, I think, a card there, but we're going to at least get a foul on Pride. Torrent ball. Compton's on the ball, turnover. Gotta wonder when this offense for the Pride starts stepping it up here a little bit. They got to start putting the foot on the gas. We're in the 55th minute. Still a lovely 71 degrees here. Ideal humidity, 53 degrees, 53%. A little windy, but not too bad. Certainly not enough to affect the ball. And a few clouds here and there, but otherwise blue skies. What defense by Malik Hawkins and Gabriel Greenfield. Several saves and several... And here comes the Torrent on the move. They're going to slow it up just a little bit. Vong on the ball. Diaz. Back to Ludwig. Ludwig over to Tosh, or trying to get to Tosh. Pride player just ran right over that ball. Vong with the ball in the 18. Shot right at Thompson. Want a little more zip on that ball, but he skirted one defender, got by another, and made the shot with the left foot. Wessling on the ball for the Pride. Boy, they just can't get anything going here. They've had several opportunities, but Greenfield's really done a nice job. 16 on the shot. That was Bryce Bush, who came in the first half. We have several players for the Torrent warming up on the touchline here. Corner kick for the Pride. Punched out by Greenfield. Put back in the box by FC Pride, but immediately right back out by that Torrent defense. Switching fields over to LeCompte. Over to Tosh. Over to Lasso. Back to Tosh. Up to Diaz. Diaz to Tosh. Tosh with a rifle off his left foot. And can't be handled by the FC Pride team. Can't quite see on the far side who that is. 59th minute, FC Milwaukee Torrent 3, FC Pride 0. Ball at Kopp's feet. Trying for the third. Probably got a little greedy there. That was not as well thought out, but a straight shot nonetheless straight through. Ball picked up by Greenfield out to Hawkins. Boy, Hawkins has had a great game so far on the defensive side of the ball, as well as Espinoza and, of course, Brandon Kopp. Looks like we're going to have a substitution here. Looks like it's going to be Eric Milan coming on.
Entering the match for FC Pride, number 12, Eric Milan.
He's coming on for Caleb Schwartzendruber. Thompson near side to Spencer Holland. I don't know if that was off the shoulder or off the face of Brandon Kopp, but that looks like it didn't feel good. Pushed by Kopp on Wessling. Holland on the ball, but right into the middle of that Torrent defense. Again, you're looking for the Pride to start making some moves here. They're having trouble getting through that back line of FC Milwaukee Torrent. It's going to be a throw in here. Kick save by, oh. And goal by the Pride. I'm trying to see who scored that. It looked like number 12. Looks like Eric Milan, the
In the 62nd minute, FC Pride goal, 12, Eric Milan.
yeah, it looks like it was Milan in the 67th minute or 62nd minute. Sorry. Torrent still up by 2. Great defense though, still by the Torrent. That one was a couple kick saves here, a couple kick saves there. Offsides on the Torrent. Let's hope they don't give up another one. It's the most dangerous score in all of soccer is being up by 2. Ball crossed over middle. Ball just kind of spinning on Braden Dahl's head there for a second. But a cross was sent over by Joshua Wesseling. A swath of FC Milwaukee Torrent players getting ready to potentially come on, getting warmed up. We have one sitting here at the box, potentially getting ready to check in here. Can't quite see who it is quite yet. Back to Cockings. Cockings up to Kopp. Kopp couldn't handle it. Felix Heweiler is going to come in now for Gabe Vaughn. Heweiler.
Number 14, Felix Heweiler entering the game.
Heweiler, of course, is dangerous in the goal, around the goal. So Coach Tyler Howard wanting some more firepower out there. Looked like a yellow card on Roberto Rangel, I believe. Yes, Roberto Rangel.
Yellow card assessed to Roberto Rangel in the 66th minute. Yellow card, 66th minute.
With Ronaldo Lopez at the touchline getting ready to come on. He'll come on. We have Marlon Perez. See if we get any more. But Coach Tyler Howard wanting to get some of those tired legs off the field, I think. A little bit of a push in the back on Spencer Holland. It's going to be a getting a talking to. Gotta love when you give the forget about it, whatever kind of hand to the ref. I'll get you a yellow card real quick for dissension.
Entering the match for FC Milwaukee Torrent to 74, Ronaldo Lopez.
Lopez coming on for Giovanni Diaz.
Marlon Perez.
And Rangel. So Lopez and Perez coming on. (3-1) FC Milwaukee Torrent up on FC Pride in the 68th minute. Certainly FC Pride has had the majority of the possession here recently. Let's see if these fresh legs can get them some things moving here. Cockings over to Kopp. Kopp up to Heweiler. Heweiler to back over to Heweiler. That's Lasso. Max Ludwig on the ball. Off the woodwork. Beautiful spin and turn shot by Max Ludwig. Lots of pace on it, but just off the top of the woodwork. That was almost a fourth goal. Turnover by Pride. Heweiler on the ball. Perez. Lopez. Lasso. FC Milwaukee Torrent defense playing up very, very. Hawkins was playing almost up to the. Torrent wanting that to be a bit of a shoulder to shoulder, but not when a player gets knocked down. That foul on. I believe it was Max Ludwig. $20 or so minutes left in this match. We're going to get a free kick from about the 16-yard line of the football field. So about 26 yards out, 26, 27 yards out. Served in. Right to Ludwig on the Torrent. Up to Heweiler. Heweiler's got jets. He's got some speed. Sun is starting to set here in Wisconsin. Sunset isn't until 8:35. We'll be out of here, hopefully before then. Ludwig to Tosh. Tosh, not much on that one. Thompson with the save. Nice defense there by Marlon Perez. That was a ball taken off the head of a Torrent player. I can't quite see who that is, and he's gone down. I think he got it right, just right smack dab in the side of the head. Kind of see him shaking his head. Looks like Lasso. So he's going to come off. So it's essentially going to be a 10 on 11. So until he gets cleared and is allowed back on. We also have Ayrton Graziano. Ayrton Graziano. And then we have Taylor Pill coming on.
Entering the match for FC Milwaukee Torrent, number 4, Taylor Pill. For FC Pride, entering for the match number 3, Ayrton Graziano.
So it looks like Pill is going to come on for Lasso. Did not see who came off. It looks like Lucas Benabose came off. And that's a goal by FC Pride. Just missed it. I missed who got that one. So that makes it 3-2 in the 76th minute. Trying to see who that one was. Trying to confirm here. You got to hope for the Torrent that they can hold on to this one. You don't want to be up 3-0 and lose this or let it go in a tie. Nice defense there by Espinosa. Kind of a bit of a glare here.
Entering the pitch, the 27, Liam Wasco. And Taylor Hill gets the captain patch. Wristband, armband.
Ball sent in. I do believe I believe that last goal was by Eric Milan, looking back on it. Kind of trying to like place who was there, kind of what they look like, that sort of thing. It was hard to tell from up here. I'm getting, as I said, getting a bit of a glare here now of the setting sun at Hart Park. (3-2) in the 79th minute. Torrent are up over FC Pride. It's going to be a corner kick here for the Torrent. Ball served in very far. And Thompson coming up with the ball. It's probably a yard or two too deep. We're going to go with Milan. Milan with his second goal of the game. A brace for him as well. So in that flurry, we had several substitutions as well. We had Brandon Kopp come off. Taylor Pill, Liam Wasco come on. Hugh Weiler on the ball. He's got wheels. And a goal! Felix Hugh Weiler in the 81st minute. I told you that kid has wheels. Slips it right past Cole Thompson in the goal.
Number 14, Felix Heweiler. Goal scored in the 81st minute. Ramirez Pavon. Say Chewy, is that how he says that? 17 entering for the Torrent.
And another substitution here. Chuy Ramirez Pabon. Hugh Weiler on the ball again. Perez. Perez to Lasso. Lasso to Lopez. Gonna switch fields back to Cockings. Up to Hugh Weiler, caught offsides.
After that last goal, FC Milwaukee Torrent substitution number 17, Chewy Ramirez Pavon, entered the match. We'd like to thank also our bronze backers who helped power the Milwaukee Torrent all season long. Big thanks to Sullivan's Pub and Grill and Badger CrossFit of Wauwatosa for their continued support and commitment to our club and community. We're proud to have you on the Torrent team. And entering the pitch for your FC Milwaukee Torrent.
All right, so we got
47 Graham Tosh.
Graham Tosh coming in for Lasso. Kind of lost track of who's come on, who's come off. Ludwig with the shot, but just a bit outside. The famous words of the infamous Bob Euchre. Which we were downtown yesterday for lunch with my wife, and we got to see the beautiful big mural that was completed downtown. Just enormous. But a really nice job. Of course, for those of you that are not baseball fans, maybe you'll know him as the dad from Mr. Belvedere, or Harry Doyle from Major League. Wesseling getting a talking to by our head referee. '85th minute. Torrent up 4-2. FC Pride ball. letting this one play out a little bit. Lopez on the ball for the Torrent. Lots of fresh faces out there. Getting some fresh legs out there for the Torrent. Paul, I'm sorry that you're a White Sox fan. I know you're having a good season, but hasn't been good seasons recently. As a Brewers fan, I'm super proud of what our team is doing. I believe they won 3-2 today. Oh, they lost 4-3. They were up 3-2 last time I looked. But they are playing National League leading Atlanta Braves. Pride on the ball. Throw in for the Pride coming. 87th minute, almost the 88th minute. My guess here is probably a couple minutes again. Foul called by the far linesman. It's going to be a free kick coming for FC Pride, just outside the, probably 7 or 8 yards outside the 18. Looks like we got Ludwig and Graham Tosh on the wall. And Braden Dahl with
Visit MilwaukeeTorrent.com for all the latest
quite the kick through the uprights.
Milwaukee Torrent.
And Greenfield just going to take his time here. He's not going to rush this.
With the Torrent on social media,
89th minute.
check out the new online team store. The best place for Torrent fans to be anchored together online is at MilwaukeeTorrent.com.
Graham Tosh tried to get that crossed over to Marlon Perez, but intercepted there by, and good defense there by Cockings. Slowing down that transition that FC Pride wanted to get into. Again, 4-2. A little heavy-footed there by the Pride player. It's going to be a throw-in for the Torrent. Of course, Torrent in no hurry to get this ball back in. Looks like a yellow card on Spencer Holland. Sorry, Jonathan Milyanov.
Okay, thank you.
So yellow card on Jonathan Mihailov, sorry.
In the 90th minute, yellow
Just quite the yank of the jersey.
Indicated 5 minutes of added time. 5 minutes.
So we got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Wow, that seems like a lot of time.
Oh, maybe he was indicating the yellow card was on number 5. No, there's no number 5. Never mind.
So we got 5 minutes of added time. There were a few injuries here, there. Thought it'd be a few minutes less than that, but we'll run with it. So 5 more minutes of soccer here at Hart Park. As we head into the 92nd minute, FC Milwaukee Torrent up 4-2 over FC Pride. And a very pivotal matchup here in the Central States Conference. This will now, if the score holds, FC Pride stays in second. Torrent go up into a 2-team tie for 4th against the Lions of Chicago. Shot is a cross by Heweiler over to Lopez, and Lopez just couldn't finish. He almost got a second chance at it, but Cole Thompson had a great job of holding on to that ball. Now we're going to do a little time wasting in the corner here, but that doesn't last for long. Bush on the ball for FC Pride. Kicked out of bounds out of the end line by Taylor Pill. He wasn't happy with himself. He really wanted to get that as a throw-in. Bush trying to rush this one. I mean, obviously there's... But I don't think his team was ready for him quite yet. He definitely rushed that one. Throw in for the Torrent. Pride with the throw in off a Torrent head, back out of bounds. '94th minute. We're about halfway through the 94th minute. Definitely have to say, and I agree with you, Paul. Player of the match has been Gabriel Greenfield. He's made some great saves. Doing a nice job directing traffic. And now he's going to boot this one from the line. Now we're just going to play a little head volleyball here. Ball sent up, and Thompson kicks it right back. Joey Longo on the ball for FC Pride. It's going to be a foul on Chuy Ramirez-Pabon. Eric Milan on the ball with 2 goals of his own today. Ticking over into the 96th minute. You have to wonder if Torrent are able to clear this one. That the referee will blow those 2 whistles and end this match. Off the wall. Torrent secure the ball. And there's the end of the game. And that's it, folks. 4-2. Torrent win. Giving them 10 points in the Central States Conference. FC Pride stays where they're at in second place. What a match. So just a quick recap of goals here. We have 2 from Brandon Kopp. He gets a brace. And then JJ Espinoza comes in the second half with another goal. And then which is the game winner. But then also to seal things up, we have Felix Heweiler with a wonderful goal. On FC Pride's side, Eric Milan with a brace as well. So that's it, folks. Tune in tomorrow to see FC Milwaukee Torrent women play Chicago House AC. Man of the match, I would say, is Gabriel Greenfield. Did a wonderful job in goal this evening. All right, folks. I'm tired. I'm going to let you all go. On behalf of my wonderful crew here, we got Andy Britton, I have Chloe May, Brandon Reinfleisch. Just want to thank you all for tuning in to Milwaukee Torrent Soccer. Once again, 4-2. FC Milwaukee Torrent win over FC Pride. Have a great evening, everybody. Take care.